this is Rosa Kelly, and today I'm gonna work on a tutorial that was requested by some of you. If you recall, I just recently posted a little mini album with it's called the Vintage Garden mini album, and it's a 6x6 mini album using little girls and Anna Griffin's paper. I no longer have that album, but I want to show you what other projects I made using the same exact materials and technique. So if you recall, my daughter Ariel made a mini album, which is this one. This is her album, and she did this all by herself. Of course, I guide her a little bit, but most of everything she did, except for the binding that I helped her. But so we did these albums using envelopes. Now these envelopes are square envelopes, and I really like the size because the album is a square album. But I recommend you using any kind of craft envelopes, just because the craft paper is a lot thicker and sturdier than just regular white or black envelopes. So for this album, and these craft envelopes come in different sizes, so you don't have to do this size, but these are the ones that I'll be using. I get these ones at Michael's. I no longer have the package, but they come like this, with envelopes and with cards. And I'm pretty sure Hobby Lobby also have these similar envelope system, or Joann's, or any of those stores. So yeah, so I'm gonna use the envelopes and the cards that come with it. And again, these are very sturdy craft paper. Let me show you this other album. Now this album I made a year ago. I made this last year for Halloween, and I also did this project together with my daughters, and it came out super fast, basically because your page is already built in, and half the work is done because these envelopes are, or these cards are exactly the size for these envelopes, so it makes the process really fast. And I love the size. The size is just perfect, super cute. So let me show you this album. I'm not gonna be doing exactly this album, but I want to show you some examples of how you can use the envelopes and cards to make fun layouts like that. And then, so for example, this one here has another envelope attached to the base envelope to make this into a pocket. So I'll be doing something like that. And then for the inside, I have these ones are the cards that I trimmed down, and obviously I stamp. You can use any theme of paper that you like. I'm not going to be decorating the album. I'm just going to be showing you how to do the base, so you can make your own, use your own paper that you have hanging around. So that, and then like a layout like this that opens up and down and up and down. Super easy to make. So I'm going to be showing you how I did some of these layouts. And like I said, I'm going to be showing you the base construction and the binding, but not the details and embellishments. Oh, sorry. So we're going to need the envelopes and cards. Like I said, any size that you find your envelopes will do. The only difference is you're gonna have to cut your cover to fit the size of your envelope. But the binding here, the binding for your spine, you can follow exactly my tutorial. Now I'm gonna be doing a spine. This one is a 1/2 inch gussets. If you can see, these are 1/2 inch in between, so this makes up for 2.5 inch spine here. And it's a more flatter, more simple album, not too many embellishments inside. If you want to do an album like this, a little bit chunkier with more embellishment, this has a 3/4 inch gusset here. So this measures a 3.5 inch spine. So I'm gonna be doing something more like this. I don't know what I'm gonna be using the album yet. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing this is a requested tutorial, so I don't have a particular theme for my album, but I know whatever I'll do, I want to embellish a lot. Maybe I'll do another Halloween album. So I'm gonna be doing a 3.5 inch spine. Okay, so I'm going to start with my covers. The size of my envelope, it's 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I'm cutting 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 6 by 6 for my top and bottom covers. Now, if you have a different size envelope, so for example, these envelopes are, and it all depends on what kind of envelopes you are using to do your cover. For example, this one is 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. So if you're using something like this, then you will cut your outside covers at 5 1/2 by 7 1/2. So your album will be slightly bigger than mine. And then your spine, my spine is going to be 6, which is the size of my, of my cover here. So it's going to be 6 by 3 1/2. So I'm gonna cut these right here at 3 1/2. So if you're doing, for example, this size, your spine piece will be 7 1/2 by 3 1/2. So what I'm trying to say is, just do whatever works for your envelopes that you have, or the ones that you are able to find. And as long as your spine is 3 1/2, we should be okay doing our binding together. So I don't wanna tell you you need to find these envelopes, you need to have this. No, it's whatever you have, whatever you can find, whatever store it's available to you. I do want to say, try to find craft envelopes because they're thick. They are the craft color. They're almost like cardstock, because the white envelopes and black envelopes that I've seen so far, they're very thin, and then when you add your glue, then they start getting all wrinkled, and I don't think it's a really good look, and they're not very strong either. Okay, so enough talking. So I have 2 pieces of 6 by 6 and 1 piece of 6 by 3 1/2, and then I'm gonna grab 2 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to put them together. So I'm just going to see, I'm going to join them together here with some double-sided tape. Let me grab my tape. There you go. So I'm just going to put them together, and then I'm going to make this page a little bit smaller because it's quite long here, and I don't need it to be that big. But so let me go ahead and glue. I'm gonna glue the center, my spine. Glue my spine here. And I'm just gonna place it in the center of my join. And let me just clean my glue here. And then I'm gonna add the 2 pieces on the side. So if you have seen my tutorials before, you know that I'm going to leave here just like an 1/8 of an inch separation in between these 2 pieces. I'm just gonna press that, and then we're gonna do the same on the other side. Okay, and then I'm gonna trim, like I said, a little bit on each side here, because you only want about an inch, so you don't have to, but I don't like making it, it gets too bulky when you don't trim it. So just trimming the sides about an inch here, and then I'm just going to cut the corners. And I want to make sure that when you cut, you're not going right against the chipboard. You want to give it a little bit of room, like that. So when you fold it, your chipboard is not showing. Okay, so that's 2, and then 3 and 4. Okay, and then the rest is just, I'm gonna fold. Let me just fold it here, and then I'm going to, I like to fold it before I start gluing, that way I can start marking the paper. And then I'm going to fold it here and fold it in here. So I'm just gonna press hard and mark, and then I'm gonna add some glue. You can also add double-sided tape, whatever works for you. Now when you're adding the glue, when you're using glue, just remember to hold it for a second before you move to the other side, otherwise it starts opening again. And also you can use some clips to help yourself. And then I'm gonna glue this other side here, just like that. And then for the sides, before you fold it, you want to tuck in the corners, just like that, a little bit, and then you can add your glue, press and hold. And then I'm going to use my clips again, just for a minute, and then I'm gonna do the same on this other side. All right, and before you fold it, make sure you crease your gaps here, and then you fold one at a time. Just make sure your paper doesn't come out or bubbled up or anything like that. So here we go. So we have our binding, outside bind, super easy, fast, and so pretty. Okay, so now let's work on our hinge. So I'm going to grab one of the cards that came with my envelopes, but if you don't have one of these cards, this piece is going to measure 11 inches by whatever the length of your, let's see, of your envelope. So mine, since I'm using the cards, this measures 5.5. So if you are using a sheet that measures, let me get my envelopes here. Let me get one out. So if you're using a bigger size envelope, and your album's gonna be like, you know, like opening this way. If this measures 7.25, you're gonna cut this piece at 7. So you wanna cut this smaller than your envelope. That way your envelope can just slide into your hinge. So in this case, my envelopes are 5.75 by 5.75. So this, it measures 5.5. Okay, so I'm gonna start by scoring on 1 inch. Okay, 1.5. My first gusset is going to be 1/2 inch, and then I'm gonna score every 3/4 inch all the way till the end. So I'm gonna do the next score at 2.25, at 3, 3 1/4, 4 1/2, 5 1/4. Do this one again, 5 1/4, and then 6, 6 3/4, 7 1/2, 8 1/4, 9, and 9 3/4. Okay, so again, I'm scoring the first one at 1, the second one at 1 1/2, and then I'm going every 3/4 inch all the way until the 11-inch mark. I will put the measurements on the screen somewhere or on the description box down below. That way you can actually look at it and, you know, take your time. So then I'm just grabbing, I'm leaving along the first 1 inch score mark and the 1 1/2 score inch mark, and then I'm grabbing these 2 3/4 inch and folding it up. Then I'm skipping the next one for the gusset, and then I'm grabbing the next 2, and I kind of just pinch it to make this little heel here. So, and then again I skip the next one and I get these 2 together, and I skip the next one and I get these last 2 together. Okay, so you're gonna have a piece like this. Okay, so this is how you're gonna bend it, and then when you put it together, it's like that. Now we're gonna turn it around. You can use glue or you can use your double-sided tape. I'm going to use double-sided tape just to be faster with this tutorial, but you can use glue on each one. You just have to hold it and let it dry before you move on to the next one. So I'm just gonna do it fast here. I'm just gonna press down, and then I put in the next heel little creased here, double-sided tape, and then I'm gonna take it out and join these. Okay, so it's kind of coming along, see that? And then the next 2, which are these ones, I'm gonna add my double-sided tape. Oops, my tape. Okay, like that. And put them together, and the last one more time. Cut this out. And then I'll just take off the tape and I put the last 2 together. So then when we turn it around, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so there you go. Now you have this little piece, and then we're just going to attach these to here. So now I like to center my my little, what do you call it? My little hinges in your page inserts, I should say, here on the center. You could do it that way, or you could align the first one to the very first gusset here that we have, the very first 1 inch score. So I'm just gonna center it. I'm gonna add some glue. Okay, and then I'm just going to put it kind of in the center. So if you align the very first score mark to your very first mark here, you should be fine to be centered, but just in case, I just like to center it, visually center it. So I'm gonna hold this, and since I'm using glue instead of double-sided tape, I'm gonna let this dry for a couple minutes before I bend your cover. So now I'm gonna grab my ruler and I'm gonna place it right where I have my little gap mark here, and I'm going to score. And this is where this page is going to bend, like that. And I'm gonna do the same on this other side. I align my ruler with my little marks and score. And then this is also going to bend right there.